Hello, my tarot advisor community. Laura Brown here. We are talking about ways that you can go through this holiday season with a sense of wholeness and peace and as little stress as possible. And I feel that that is so important. We want to enjoy, we want to find the enjoyment of holidays and not feel super consumed with obligation, or even just feeling that sense of stress and tension that arises when we know that we have all these things to do. We have holiday parties and family functions and Christmas gifts to get, and maybe money's tight and getting gifts is a trigger, and it makes us feel this sense of tension or this reminder of what we perceive ourselves as lacking. Whatever it may be, the holidays can sometimes be a trigger of not so good feelings. So these tips are designed to help you go through your holiday season with a sense of empowerment and a sense of peace so that it can truly be an enjoyable, happy holiday. This week's tip, we are talking about the art of giving yourself permission. And this happens whenever we begin to focus on the idea of self-care, the idea that during this holiday season, it can't just simply be what we have to do, but also what we want to do. When we focus in on the art of giving permission, we're reminding ourselves that, especially in times of high stress or can often be high stress, or in times that maybe make us feel quite emotional for a variety of reasons, such as the holidays, we must be willing to invest in a little bit of sacred self-care, to take care of ourselves, to spend some more time really focusing in on what we need and what would feel good and nourishing for our spirit. And when we do that, sometimes guilt consciousness can rise to the surface. We can have this sense of guilt and feeling poorly, as though we are doing something wrong and we should be focusing on somebody else or doing such and such task. And we generally feel this resistance that rises to the surface when we begin to take care of ourselves in a greater way, when we begin to make ourselves a priority. And it's very important that we stop ourselves from doing that. The moment we begin to feel that creeping up to the surface, we hit pause, we take a few deep breaths, and we remind ourselves that we have permission to take care of ourselves. When we are whole, when we are healed, when we are feeling good, we are able to show up in our roles in a much more empowered, much more genuine, and much more impactful way. We are at our fullest expression. When we are drained, when we are not taking care of ourselves, when we are not filling our own well, we end up only operating at most, half capacity of what we actually can provide for others in our various roles. So it's very important that we understand the need to find that centeredness, to tend to this, to tend to our minds, to tend to our hearts, to tend to our bodies. These are all essential things that we must do for ourselves. Nobody else is going to do it for us. We must be our own advocate. So this holiday season, make sure you're giving yourself permission to take care of you, that you're giving yourself permission to do what feels good. If you need to take a break from the holiday parties, if you know that somebody's going to be at the family function that you really do not get along with, or you know that that environment is going to trigger you in a bad way, give yourself permission to bow out. Give yourself permission to maybe get a massage before you go to that event. If you still decide to go, that's perfectly fine. Make sure that you're doing things that fill you with a sense of replenishing, a sense of relaxation, a sense of peace and stillness, so that when you go to these functions, when you're at the mall battling the crowds, you feel so much more centered, you feel whole, and you feel completely ready for what it is that you have to do, whatever it is that you are going out and entering into. That being said, I hope you have a wonderful week, and as always, a very happy, very merry holiday season. Mwah.